Shalom, shalom, Rastafari. This is your winner, Baruku, and this is why we say that study for black and brown people, you know what I'm saying? Especially over here in the Americas and all over the world where they may be at. Now, there was some mentioning about the tribes of Israel. We're watching this video by Sarnetta. It says, Asar, Imhotep, why do the Amen Ra squad to bang on the elders? I don't think he meant to word it like that, but you know, that's the way it appears on there. Now, this brother, he said something, well, I'm not gonna call him again, we have to be careful with that, the loose term of brother, you know what I mean? Because when you speaking against your own covenant, you causing this fire, the people are already in the tribulation. You causing a fire to come back on your own who would believe in that or who would get into that. Now, the interesting thing about this Torah portion, Matot and Masai and Matot is number one, the oath that were made to the Almighty. And then number two is the journeys of the people and all the stuff it seems like that they had to go through before they finally figured out that only Jah can really save us out of this. Only Black Jesus Christ, only Yahweh can save us. Now, this one up here, Asar Imhotep, this is why we study the Ethiopian books and the things that we are supposed to study, because you know, he made a comment right now. I didn't get that far in the video, but I seen a minute and 21 seconds. Now, he makes a comment, and that's interesting because I actually was about to do a video on that where he said something about Canaan. Now, we know y'all don't read the Ethiopian teachings. We already know you don't, because if you did, you wouldn't even made the comment that you made. In the Ethiopian Kabbalah system, you know, the Judaic, as His Imperial Majesty QEDAMAWI HAILE SELASSIE, the King of Kings, says, for my part, I glory in the Bible. If you pay attention to the details and you really read these books, these works, you know, the Ethiopian Book of Jubilee, you know, if you really read these works, they would already answer many of the questions or many of the stances that people be having against the Bible or against the glory of Christ, which you won't refute at any cost. The only thing that you will do is cause your own downfall. So here we go. He says something
in here. Thou shalt not kill, and thou shalt not steal.
Okay.
Now, this is the same God.
Good point, man.
This is the same God that at the beginning said, let there be light, and there was light.
Now, realize what you're doing. Number one, you calling the Almighty. Now you calling the Almighty. You saying he contradicts his own word. First of all, this is number one thing you saying. All right. First, you saying the Almighty contradicts his own word, right? And then you wonder why black and brown people in the shit they in under the Amorite and under all the other oppressors, because we don't have anything. But then these ones that come out with this kind of this pseudo scholarship on their own, they make these applications that are false to the Almighty. And then they wonder why our conditions, while we be getting shot out there by the police and all this other stuff be happening, or, you know what I mean? Because people don't care about themselves. You know what I'm saying? You choose not to go to the Yah. You choose not to go to the Almighty. You choose to tell this interpretation to the people that the Almighty contradicts his own word. How can the pure and the perfect contradict himself? You see what I'm saying? See, your problem is that you want to bring Jah down. You want to bring the Almighty down to your level. You can't do that. You can't bring Yahweh down to your level. You couldn't even fathom what Yahweh, the extremity, you know, that he created you. You know what I'm saying? A vessel made for his own destruction. He even made the vessels that were fitted to their own destruction. You know, but let's get into the facts here. You know, it's not about just talking, but let's show and prove. Let's show and prove.
To go into Canaan and to commit genocide and take over the land of Canaan.
Okay. Now, you heard him. He said that to go into Canaan and commit genocide. Now, what's interesting is it must be the spirit of the High Elohim, the Yahweh, because I was just reading in the book of Jubilee. And actually, I was searching for that part actually specifically. So I'm going to go and read that where you said that he sent the children to steal from Canaan, right? So we know you don't read these works. We know y'all aren't reading, because then you would know what I'm about to show you right now. So we're going to go over to that real quick. Oh yeah, we're reading Babylon and Timbuktu. You should check that out too. You need to. This is a book of Adam and Ethiopian book of Adam and Eve verse Satan. Let's go. The book of Yobelu. Okay. I think we're reading right here. Okay. So now this is when the land was given to Shem, Ham, Shem, and Japhet. What was told to Canaan and what Canaan did. Now, it shouldn't be no mystery for us to believe what the Canaanites had done, being that we already see what the Amorite colonizers of today have done as far as encroaching on other people's lands and setting up their own system, you know what I'm saying? And taking things that belong to other people as their own. You know, so taking other people's land and developing it as their own. This was a habitual habit. This was done by certain people. Certain people would take other people's land and take it and say it was their own, going outside of the oaths or the orders of the Almighty or the Noahic, the Noahide covenant. You see what I'm saying? So people would do this. So let's read in the Ethiopian Book of Jubilee what it says about people who squat down on other people's land that don't belong to them, not because they feel so or because they have a history that they made up for hundreds of years that lied to them, but that the truth that comes from the Bible, from the Almighty, to show you that the word of the Lord is true. So let's go and see here what happened with that. How did that happen? And it says, let's see. And in the 4th week, now we in the book of Yobelu. We don't know how good y'all can. Let's see how good you can see this. We can. Might have to. Okay. So here we go, and we might have to prop this up just a little bit so we can, you know, really show you here what we okay, there we go. There we go. Now let's look. We in the Ethiopian Book of Jubilee. Well, why did the Lord tell the children of Israel to take the land of Canaan? All right, let's look here. It says, on this account, the whole land of Shinar, and at this time this will be China. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that China was Ethiopia, right? Ethiopia, China, you know that connection, the orientation in the east. On this account, the whole land of Shinar is called Babel, because there Ha-Elohim confused all the tongues of the children of men. And from there they were scattered to all their cities, each according to his language and his nation. And the Lord sent a great wind against the tower, and it overturned it on the ground. And behold, between the land of Asher and Babylon in the land of Shinar, and they called its name Ruins. Now this is interesting. We want to get to the part so you can see what happened with Canaan. So we kind of 2 verses up before that. We're going to get there. It says, in the 4th week, in the 1st year of the 34th Yobelu, this is when men would, you know, when they were able to read the times, the heavens, the handiwork of the heavens, and they were able to use the signs and the seasons properly that were given by the Almighty, because you can't do that now. Can't do it because you're out of order. You can't do it out of order. You can do it when you're in order, but you can't do it out of order. You know what I'm saying? So the 4th book of Jubilee, they were scattered out of the land of Shinar. And Ham and his sons went to the land which he had taken, which fell to him by lot. Check this out. So Jah gave people their lands by lot. It wasn't other people saying, oh, you live over here and you live over. No, the Lord gave people's seed lines their land by lot, which fell to them by lot in the land of the north, south. And Canaan, check this out, saw the land of the Lebanon, Lebanon, right? The whiteness, and it's not speaking about race, but Lebanon has that link with white, and like pure, like the pure white smoke. We're not talking about skin color right now. So of the Lebanon to the canal of Egypt, that it was very good, and he did not go into the land of his inheritance. So hold on. What happened? Wait. Did you read the Ethiopian Book of Jubilee? Did you miss this part, dog? Did you miss this part? You know, I saw Imhotep. Did you miss that part? Oh no, you probably never read it, dog. That's why you saying what you saying. Hold on, let me go back real quick. Let's finish up real quick so you can get the fullness of it, you know, so you don't test the high Elohim too much, you know, the fire that come out. let's get the fullness. And Canaan saw the land of the Lebanon to the canal of Egypt, that it was very good, and he did not go to the land of his inheritance, to the west of the sea, and dwelt in the land of Lebanon, to the east and to the west of the land of Jordan. You know what I mean? Now we can look at that like the Atlantic too. The Jordan like the Atlantic too, because the Atlantic used to be called the Ethiopian Sea. And on the coast of the sea, and Ham, his father, and Cush and Mithraim, okay, now Ethiopia and Egypt, his brother said to him, check this out. Egypt, his brother said to him, look at this. Think about where you at right now. You black and brown people in a land over here in the West, captive under what you call white supremacy or white rule at the end of the Euro-Gentile dominion, right? Because the ending of their systematic condition is ending, and it's ending for a reason, because they have so much power and control, but they choose to do the evil thing, or they're greedy, or they don't want to give to the poor, these things that Christ said that a nation must fulfill in order to survive, but they did the opposite. And like Sodom and Gomorrah, remember Sodom and Gomorrah was hit with the fire, the thunder, and the brimstone. They were destroyed, right? Not just because their immoral sexual practices, but also their treatment of the poor. Remember that? And what is the city that is spiritually at Sodom and Egypt? It's Babylon. Babylon, hey, Babylon, USA. And then all the imitations of it throughout the world. So come back here. Let's see. It says that, and Ham, his father, and Cush, Mizraim, Ethiopia, and Egypt, his brother said to him, thou hast settled in a land which is not thine, and did not fall to us by lot. Thou should not do this. For if thou doest this, then thou and thy children will fall by condemnation in the land, and as cursed ones by sedition. For by sedition you have settled, and by sedition thy children will fall, and thou will be rooted out to eternity. So this is the Ethiopian Book of Jubilees, page 38, verse 23. There's your answer right there. So of course in the future, the Israelites, by command of the Ha Elohim, would take this land, and that's your answer right there. Asar Imhotep.
Those are the commandments God, Yahweh, gave Moses to give to the people, right?
Right.
Then
Shalom.